Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this carrot coaster. For this pattern, you're going to need two colors of yarn. One is going to be for the carrot portion, one is going to be for the stem. For this video, I used orange for the carrot and brown for the stem, but you can also use green or whatever color you prefer. For this specific carrot, I used a 5mm crochet hook and some scissors, but you can use whatever hook and yarn size you prefer. I also used a darning needle, but if you don't have one, that's okay. I'll show you how to sew in your ends with both a darning needle and also your hook. Now that that's all out of the way, let's go ahead and begin. To start off, we're going to make a slip knot. And then we're going to do a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. For round 1, we're going to skip the last chain that we made and we're going to work into the second chain from our hook. Into that second chain, we're going to do 2 single crochets. So that's also known as an increase. We're going to do 2 single crochets into that chain. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next one. And then in our last chain, we're going to do an increase. So again, 2 single crochets into the last stitch, giving you a total of 5 single crochet stitches. Then we're going to chain 1, turn our work around, and now we're going to work on round number 2. For round number 2, we're just going to do single crochets without any increases. So just do regular single crochets until you get to the end. Again, for round 2, you should have a total of 5 single crochet stitches. Okay, then we're going to chain 1 and turn, and now we're working on round number 3. For round number 3, we're going to once again start off with an increase, then do 3 regular single crochets, and then in our last stitch do another increase. For round number 3, we should have a total of 7 single crochet stitches. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn, and now we're working on round number 4. For round number 4, we're just going to once again do regular single crochet stitches without any increases, keeping a stitch count of 7. And then once you get to the very end, chain 1, turn. For row number 5, we're going to once again start off with an increase. Do 5 regular single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into the last one, do another increase for a total of 9 stitches. Chain 1, turn. For round number 6, just do 1 single crochet until you get to the very end, keeping a stitch count of 9. Okay. Once you're done with that, go ahead and chain 1 again and turn. Now we're on to row number 7. Again, we're going to start off with an increase, and then we're going to do 7 single crochets. And then after you're done with your 7 single crochets, we're going to do another increase. Now we should have a total of 11 stitches. Chain 1, turn. We're on row number 8. We're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch until the very end, keeping a stitch count of 11. Okay, once you get to the very end, again, chain 1 and turn. And now we're on row number 9. Again, we're going to start off with an increase. Then we're going to do 9 single crochet stitches. Okay. Once you have your 9, in our last stitch, we're going to do an increase. we should have a total of 13 stitches. Chain 1, turn, and now we're just going to do 1 row of regular single crochets without any increases, keeping a stitch count of 13. And this is row number 10. So just go ahead and increase without any, or excuse me, go ahead and single crochet without any increases until you get to the very end of row number 10. Okay, and once you get to row number 10, we're going to go ahead and finish off with a chain 1, turn our work, and now we're moving on to row number 11, which is going to be our last increase round. So to start off row 11, we're going to do an increase, and then we're going to do 11 single crochet stitches. Okay, so we did an increase and then 11 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. In our last stitch, we're going to do an increase. And this is our last increase round. We're going to chain 1, turn our work, and now for rows 12 through 15, we're just going to keep single crocheting back and forth, keeping the stitch count of 15. So no increases, no decreases, nothing special. We're just going to single crochet in each stitch around. So this is row number 12. Again, we're going to single crochet from rows 12 to 15. So 12, 13, 14, 15. For the next 4 rows, we're just going to do single crochet stitches. At the end of each row, chain 1 and turn, and feel free to do that, and I will go ahead and meet you when I'm done. Okay, I just finished round number 15. I'm going to finish off with a chain 1 and turn, and now we're going to go ahead and start our decrease rounds. So we're going to go ahead and start off round number 16 with a decrease. So how I do my decreases is I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch of the round, grab yarn, pull up, and then I'm going to take my hook and insert it into the second stitch of the round, grab yarn, pull up, and that same loop that we just pulled up from the second stitch, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to pull through the other 2. Okay, you can do your decreases however you'd like. That's just how I'm going to do it for this coaster. So again, we're on round 16, where you just did a decrease, and we're going to go ahead and do 11 single crochet stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We should have 2 stitches left over, and we're going to do one last decrease for this row. So again, insert your hook into the first stitch, grab yarn, pull up. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to take your hook, insert it into the second stitch, grab yarn, pull up, and that stitch that you just pulled up, the loop that you just pulled up, you're going to grab it and pull it through the other 2, like so. And then I'm going to finish off round 16 with a chain 1. Okay, we just finished round number 16, and we have a total of 13 stitches. I've already chained 1, I'm going to turn, and now for round 17, we're going to start off with a decrease, and then we're going to do 9 single crochet stitches, which should leave you with 2 stitches left over at the end. And again, this is round number 17. And then once you get to your last 2 stitches, we're going to do another decrease. And that gives you a total of 11 stitches for this round. Chain 1, turn, we're on round number 18. We're going to once again start off with a decrease. Then we're going to chain 7, we're going to do 7 single crochet stitches. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, leaving us with 2 left over. We're going to do another decrease at the end. Chain 1, turn, and this is our last decrease round. So we're going to start off with a decrease. Then we're going to do 5 single crochet stitches. And then we're going to do our last decrease in the last 2 stitches, leaving us with 7 stitches at the end of this round. Then we're going to chain 1. And this is how it should look so far. Okay, and now we're going to do a single crochet stitch along the outer border of our carrot. So we've already chained 1, and now we're just going to find the nearest loop closest to us, which is going to be here. It's not an actual stitch, but it's like the outer part of the stitch. So find your nearest hole, insert your hook, and do a single crochet. Do the same thing. Find the next available one, insert your hook, do a single crochet. Okay, and you can pull your stitches apart. Find the next one. It's going to be right here along the edge. Single crochet. And then keep pulling it apart. Find your next available loop along the ends of each row, along the borders, and just single crochet all around. Okay, we're not doing any increases or decreases. We are just single crocheting at every available stitch along the edge. Okay, and I know they don't look like actual stitches, but if you pull them apart, you can see that there are some gaps around the edge. We're going to insert our hook into those. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and single crochet until I make it to the bottom tip of the carrot, where we will officially reach the beginning chain 3 that we made, the beginning chain. So I've made it near the edge. What I'm gonna do is where I have my loop where I made my slip knot, I'm just gonna tug on that a little bit, and I'm gonna insert my hook into that loop. And I'm gonna do a single crochet. Okay, and then I'm gonna find the middle stitch that I've made. So we've just inserted into this little loop here, which is the very first chain that we made. We're going to single crochet into the next available one, which should be right in the middle of our carrot. And then our last one for the bottom, do a single crochet. And then again, now we're just going to single crochet along the border. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be even. As long as your carrot still falls somewhat flat, then it should be fine. We're just going to do it around the border so it has a nice finishing touch. So go ahead and single crochet, and I will meet you once I get up to this area right here. Okay, I am near the top of our carrot again. Just have a couple more single crochets to do. And then I have officially made it back to the top parts of our carrot, which is where we have our actual stitches, which makes them easier to work into. So once we're on this side, all we have to do is now make single crochet stitches along the last row of our carrot, which should be easier to work into. So go ahead and make your last couple of single crochets. Okay, and then when you get to the end, there's going to be one more stitch that kind of looks like a stitch, but that one is not a real stitch, so you don't need to work into that one. All you have to do is slip stitch into the very first stitch of the round, and then chain 1. And then once that's done, you need to grab your scissors, snip off your yarn, and pull through. Make sure you chain 1 before you cut and pull through. Okay, and now that that's done, you have your little carrot. If it does pull up a little bit on the edges, that's totally fine. You just need to grab a book or something heavy and put it on top, and it should flatten out, or throw them in the washing machine and they should flatten out that way too. But now let's go ahead and work on the stem. So let me go ahead and grab my brown yarn, and we're going to go ahead and start off with a slip knot. And then once we have that slip knot made, we are going to go ahead and attach it to our carrot. So you want to attach it a little to the right of the middle. So you just have to make a little guesstimate. This for me is right in the middle, And our stem is going to go along 3 stitches. So find the 3 centermost stitches. This is my most centered stitch. So I'm going to be inserting my hook into the stitch to the right of that. Okay, and then I'm going to push my hook through that stitch. I'm going to grab my slip knot and I'm going to pull it through. Okay, and you can tighten it up too. And now we're going to go ahead and make a chain. So our chain length is going to be a chain length of 12. So I've just made a slip knot and it's already attached to my yarn because I pulled the slip knot through, and now all I have to do is work my stitches. So it's just going to be regular yarn over and pull through. So go ahead and yarn over and pull through a total of 12 times for a total of 12 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, once you have your 12 stitches, go ahead and slip stitch into the chain or into the stitch right next to it. So we worked into this chain, this stitch right over here. We're going to slip stitch into the one on the left, so the centermost stitch. So I'm going to guide my hook into that stitch, and then I'm going to grab yarn, pull up, and I'm just going to slip stitch. And then we're going to do that again. We're going to go ahead and chain 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're going to slip stitch that one into the same exact stitch. Okay, so the first one we worked into the first stitch. We did a 12 chains and then we slip stitched into the one right after. This time we're going to slip stitch it into the same exact place. Okay, so in our centermost stitch. Okay, and then we're going to do another chain 12. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we're going to slip stitch this one into the stitch after. Okay, so not in the same place, but in the stitch right next to it. And then make a slip stitch, chain 1, and then snip your yarn. And then pull through. Okay, and there you have your carrot. And now let's go ahead and move on to weaving in our ends. When it comes to weaving in our ends, I prefer to use a darning needle or a sewing needle, whichever one you'd prefer. I will show you how to use the hook as well, but I feel like it's a lot easier to use a hook because it just makes weaving things in a lot easier. But let's go ahead and start off with weaving it in with our hook first. Okay, so this is going to be the front side of our carrot. You can figure out which side looks the best. It's probably going to be the one that we finished off on because the way we did our border where it was facing us is going to be the one that looks more like the front side. So once you figure out which side you want to be the front, flip it over so the back side is facing you because that's the side that we're going to be weaving everything in, so the weaved in ends don't face the front, so it looks a lot neater. So go ahead and grab your hook, and let's go ahead and just start off with the bottom tail. So what you want to do is you have the back side facing you. You can grab your hook, and through the back loops of our stitches, we can just push our hook through them. So let me make it easier to see. When we push our hook through the stitches, we want to push through the back loops only. So we're only going to be pushing through these kinds of stitches. So these are the back parts of our stitch. And how you can tell that these are the back parts of our stitch is when we push through them, you can't see them from the front. See how you can't see my needle that it went through? That's because when I push through the back loops only, they're not going to be popping through the front of our coaster. So they're hidden. So you want to work into the back ones only. Okay, And again, that might be a little difficult, especially with a hook, but it's definitely doable. You just want to push your hook through those back loops a handful of times, like so. And again, they don't pop up in the front, it's only the back loops. Once you've done that, you just want to grab the yarn that you want to tuck in, and you just want to pull it through as you would a regular stitch, like so. And then you want to do that a couple more times. So you can turn your work around if you need to. I'm just going to push my hook through a handful of other stitches. I'm going to do a couple more. You might need to use your hands to help guide it through because sometimes the stitches are very tight. So once you have your hook through the back loops of the stitches, again, they're not going to be popping up much from the front, only the back. Okay, you're going to grab your yarn again and pull that yarn through the stitches that you've just pulled through. Okay, I'm going to do that a couple more times. You push your hook through the back loops of your yarn, grab the yarn you want to tuck in, and pull it through. And then once it's pulled through enough and it won't come undone, you just snip off the excess, and then there you have that part weaved in. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how to weave in the ends with your darning needle. So I'm going to go ahead and weave in the brown end of the stem. I'm just going to pull that yarn through my needle, and again, I'm only going to be weaving this in on the back side. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to push my needle through the back loops of these stitches and pull through. It's a lot easier to do with the needle because the needle is not as thick as the hook, so it pushes through the back loops a lot easier. Okay, so I'm just going to do that a couple more times. And then once I think that that's weaved in enough, I'm just going to go ahead and grab my scissors and snip. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other two loose ends off camera. And that is how you make a carrot coaster. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you have suggestions on anything you'd like to see next, please feel free to let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to make the video as soon as I can. Also, if you have any comments on how I can improve my videos to help you better understand, please let me know those as well, because I do take comments seriously, and I do want to improve my videos so they're easy for everybody to follow. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!